It is 8:30 in the morning, Thursday morning. It is a nice cool morning, right about 70 degrees, and we are flying solo today on our way for a day hike in Paulding County. Okay, going off Goldmine Road, right off 278. Really cool spot here. It is Paulding Wildlife Management Area, so if you are day hiking here during deer season, it is a absolutely horrible idea. Be respectful to the hunters. They don't want to interrupt them, and also you could get shot, especially if you're not wearing an orange vest. It's just a bad idea to hike during deer season on these wildlife management areas. However, if you look at the DNR's website, you can see the days that are allotted for the hunters to come in and hunt these woods, and you can kind of schedule your day hikes around that. It's not many days that they hunt bow season, many more days than gun season, and just avoid the morning hours, okay, and the late evening hours when the hunters are in the woods. So overall, bad idea to day hike during bow or gun season. But however, every other day of the year, it is an awesome place to get out in the woods. There's a lot of land out here. There's some really cool lakes, some really cool streams, rivers, old buildings, lots of nice stuff to see, some cool rock outcrops, and you can have a really enjoyable hike here. We're getting super close, so we're about to pull into this spot right here on Paulding Forest. Turn my blinker on and wait for this car. Now, there's not actually a sign here. You kind of have to know where to go, and I'm gonna turn the camera on that in just a second. Now that we're off the road, check this out. So right behind me is Goldmine Road. If you look forward, we have this telephone pole here. We're about halfway between 278, actually a little more on the New Scott store side than 278. You can kind of hit this hill in a car. It's nice to be in a truck. When you come up this hill, here we go, bang, bang, bang. And now we park. There is some ruts here. So like I said, if you're in a car, may not be quite ideal. All right, so again, here's the telephone pole. There's a little green house over there. Kind of helps you know where to turn. This is Goldmine Road, a little closer to New Scott store side. Just look for this gravel road. There will be a sign just down this way. Closer to the 278 side is on my right now, of Paulding Wildlife Management Area. However, that is not the entrance we are taking today. You walk down the trail, you notice this road closed, do not block gate. Sometimes this gate is open. I don't know when. I haven't really figured out that pattern, but be respectful. Don't park right in front of this gate. Make sure there's plenty of room for DNR to get in here, emergency services if something were to happen, so that they can access these woods fairly quick and help someone if they are in need. All right, a little ways in, you'll hit these big power lines. After you come over that break, you'll see a small old rock building here, and kind of start to get a little bit deeper into the woods. Again, the trail is really wide. It's really easy to walk down. Just watch where you're stepping. Lots of snakes around here, like I mentioned before, but it is very easily accessed, the main road. However, the main road, just walked into a spider web. However, the main road doesn't go very far, so it kind of gets you in here, and then the rest you're on your own. You're kind of just exploring. You can kind of see some water down there. A little hint at one of the first lakes we're gonna get to. We have another barn here coming up on. I don't actually know the history on this land, but there's lots of old buildings. So if anybody does know the history, let me know, because I would be really interested. I've heard lots of stories, lots of rumors of what happened, but I don't know if they're all true. So we got a trail up to this old building in here, and this one here. No, let's walk up here. Let's see what's going on. I haven't been too far up in here. Of course, we got beer bottles from these jerks that come in here. Typically leave no trace. Respect the woods. Respect other hikers. Don't leave a big mess. And we got some pants here. Again, leave no trace. Coming through lots of thick briars. And all right. Okay, so this is what we got. Looks like a workshop of some sort. Like we got a bench here, some shelves over here. Big mess. Let's look at some of these papers, see if we can put a date. Oh wow, here's a check actually. From 1980, no, 19, the date is just missing. For $67. Let's see if we can put a date on any. Whoa. Okay, floor is not very sturdy here. I would not recommend going in this building while you are on your hike. Let's see. King's Furniture. Alright, I'm gonna sort through some of this and see if I can put a date on maybe when people were in this building. Alright, so I found another check. It looks like we have October 30th of 1972. Okay, so we got some old stuff here. And another one, November 28th of 1972. So it looks like somebody in the early 70s was staying here, was the last time this building was occupied. All right, we are back on trail, back passing this big barn here. This one is really falling over, looking pretty rough. Again, would not recommend entering those. And the trail opens up and stays pretty wide for a while. We'll keep going. All right, once you make it to this first split in the trail, kind of where it starts to fork off to this right side, if you continue straight, you will go on to a slightly bigger lake. We're gonna dip off and hit this smaller lake right now. It took us we're exactly at 10 minutes in from the road to get here. Not too far at all. Gonna start to walk down this hill. As you walk down this hill, you'll really start to get a good view of the lake. Again, this is the smaller lake. Fishing isn't too bad at either of these lakes, but it's definitely not somewhere I would come with the intent to wear them out, if you know what I mean. Alright, so the logging road continues. Now that we've came down a little ways, we can start to see the lake. If you can see, there's been a forest fire here recently. That actually happened a few years ago. Me and Chase were here when that started. We're actually the ones who called the fire department. We came down here to this lake and noticed that everything was on fire. Don't know how the fire started, and we did not start the fire. But once we got here, everything was blazed up super high. Called the fire department. The fire department had a really tough time finding us and getting in here. The fire trucks could not get in here. So they started making a fire break and started raking back leaves, trying to just contain it. And eventually some bulldozers came in and continued. We stayed for a couple hours, talked with them. They were super awesome people, and it was a kind of cool experience. And luckily that fire didn't get too out of hand. It was pretty big though, and took down a significant portion right here on this side of the lake of all the underbrush, and you can still see the scars from that fire. Alright, so now we've hit this first lake. You can see there's a really good trail, and this trail hugs the lake so that you can get pretty easy access all the way around. Like I said, this is the smaller of the two, but a really cool little lake, and fishing's not too bad. Try it out. Sorry if the video is super shaky walking as I carry. You can see there's some bird houses way down here set up. I don't know who sets those up, but pretty cool. There's birdhouses on both these lakes. Here's another view from kind of the back side of the lake. Fairly big lake, really pretty. The only thing is all this trash, man. Here and here, all these people hike this stuff in, and I guess they're just too lazy to hike it back out. Just put it in your pack and carry it out, man. You brought it in, you bring it out. If you enjoy the outdoors, why are you doing your part to ruin it? Okay, so those of us that are responsible, let's do our part. If you find any receipts, definitely turn those in. It can be tracked back to the people who are leaving this trash. And bring a small bag, like today, rocking the Camelback. Okay, bring a small bag and a grocery bag. Pack some of it out, what you can. Don't go all crazy and try and get all of it, just a little bit at a time. It's not too inconvenient. Do your part to help out, keep the trails clean, keep the woods clean. Whether you're a hunter, a fisher, a hiker, any kind of outdoors person, none of us enjoy walking all over your trash, and I know the deer don't like it either. All right, just found a pair of glasses on the trail. Whoever dropped these, how did you see your way out of the woods? You have to be freaking blind. Oh my gosh. How did you not know you lost your glasses? One side's broken, but hey, if you lost your glasses on WMA, they're definitely very high prescription glasses. Hit me up. I'll keep them for you. Check this out. Nature did its work here. Looks like a bird got the worst end of a little scrap circle of life right here in the trail. Now that we're back on the main trail, after we dipped off that little side trail to see that lake, we're gonna descend down a pretty slight hill. Really easy day hike here, nice open trail, and come into this little field. Small food plot here. Grass is almost always gonna be high in this field, so pants are very nice to have. Also, or again, keep watching for snakes, especially getting in this tall grass, opening up into this field. Watch for spiders. Check this guy out. Being a big field like this and these kind of bottleneck openings, spiders are gonna be here. Lots of bugs hopping around in this tall grass, lots of stuff flying in and out. The spiders know that, so kind of in these entry and exit points of the field, these tight places coming in and out, the smart spiders are gonna be perched up and they're gonna be big boys. Coming to the outside of this field we just crossed, we're gonna have more spiders and a little building right here. Again, don't know quite the history on this land. It's really pretty piece of property, and if you know the history or think you know, send me a message. I would love to hear about it. Like I said, I've heard lots of rumors. Don't know if they're true. I've heard all kinds of stories about people losing their land and moonshining operations and lots of crazy wild stories. I'd love to know the background of this piece of property. And according to the G-Shock Rangeman, we're just about 25 minutes in. Again, the trail is gonna split. We're gonna take this right fork, which leads to that slightly bigger lake. Same thing, we're gonna start to descend, very gradual. Nothing crazy, super easy descent into this lake. Anytime you're going downhill, especially around here, it's a safe bet to know that you're probably moving towards water. Okay, water is going to be in the lower portions, your creeks, your stream beds, your lakes, usually always downhill. All right, coming up on this bigger lake, it looks like we have a house that burned down right here. I don't know if this was maybe the same time period. Gonna be hard to find much evidence since everything is burned to ashes, more or less, on that house. Continuing on the trail, starts to grow up. Grass gets a little bit high close to the lake. A little bit harder to navigate around this lake than the other, but this is what we got. This is what we're working with. According to the rangeman, it's right about 30 minutes. Just another view of the lake. This one a little bit bigger. Really pretty though. The trail, really pretty. Only thing is you're going to be walking through some thigh-high stuff, navigating your way around this lake. The trail around it is not so great compared to the first lake, which most people access. Not many people are hiking back to this second lake. All right, so kind of on a fallen-in dock here. Just right over here is the kind of spillover which drains into a creek on this side of the lake. This is the deepest part of the lake right here. As you come up, it'll drain into a creek way down this super steep hill, super thick. We will traverse down this in just a moment. It's pretty tough. If you want to, though, you can follow this creek all the way to the biggest of the three lakes, heading towards Goldmine Branch, and then eventually Bluffy Creek is where this heads. So we're kind of at the highest, upmost point of these three lakes right here. All right, let's get into a little bit of bushwhacking now. We are now off the trail. The trail ends here. You're kind of on your own self-guidance now. So remember your path, how you walk in, how you walk out. If you need to, look at landmarks when you're navigating off the trail, okay? So here I have a tire in this kind of steep ravine. That's a pretty good, easy to remember. Jumping across here, pretty easy to remember. When I see that tire in that steep ravine, I know to follow that ravine up back to the lake so that I don't get lost. Coming down to where this spillway comes out, we can follow this creek all the way to Goldmine Branch, the biggest lake, and then eventually Bluffy Creek. Coming through, I'll show you a little bit of what this looks like. Again, bushwhacking now. It's gonna be thick, not any real trails. You just kind of have to navigate through the briars, through the brush, and make your own way. All right, so that spillover from the lake runs right here. We're kind of halfway into this waterfall right now. The lake being right up there. It drains, comes through all the way down, and this little creek becomes Goldmine Branch. Really cool little spot back here. About 40 minutes in. Takes about 40 minutes if you're wanting to get to here. Fairly easy hike, except for right here on the tail end. Like I said, there's no defined trail. All right, coming to the top to see where this spills over. This log is kind of a really good path. Those rocks are pretty slick. If I go this way, I'm gonna have to use my rappelling rope. So we're gonna kind of crawl up this log. It seems fairly sturdy. Okay, unfortunately my log got extremely slick. You can see how wet it is right here. So I've switched over. I'm now climbing up this. Again, this is fairly steep. You can see how slick this might be. I'm gonna try and hold on to you as I do this. Going hands down. You really want 4 points of contact when you're climbing up stuff like this. Holding this cell phone is not ideal. I should totally get a GoPro mount. And just one more view. This would be a fairly good place to enter. There's the lake. Starts to spill over. Looks like we have some boards here. Somebody's placed down. Not really the best bridge here. Low budget. And walking through this creek, super slick. Rocks are pretty slick. Have some good traction shoes if you plan on navigating this creek. All right, I really don't want to walk all the way back down this, so I'm going to rappel down here. I will show you how to rappel with a rope. If you have no gear, kind of a makeshift way to rappel, is still safe and still effective. If you are not fairly athletic or in good shape, I would not recommend doing this. I would recommend finding another way around. But just to show you, find an anchor point. I'm a small guy. This tree is very solid, so I'm going to use this small tree just based on its location and the fact that it's not hanging off the edge like my other option here. All right, you're going to pull each end of the rope, running the rope. The halfway point hits around the base of the tree, and you're going to step on either side of the rope. Okay, check this out. Grabbing one rope with either hand, I wrap the rope around my waist. I've caught a stick. All right. After wrapping the rope around your waist, make sure both your tag ends are even. Tuck it between your legs. And you are going to hold the tag ends with one hand. Okay? This lets you release the rope as you're rappelling. This tag end controls your descent. Alright, I'm strapped in. I got my rappelling rope. If you plan on rappelling, wear a helmet. But I am a somewhat professional, so I'm going to do this while trying to hold you here so that you can watch. Big thing here is to lean back and just trust your rope, okay? If you don't lean back, just like I'm leaning over this steep bluff right now, you're gonna be too tight to the rope. You're not gonna be able to rappel safely. So you wanna lean back and slowly start to walk off the edge. As you start to walk your way off that edge, try and find your footing. The edge is going to be the toughest part. Once you get over that edge, it's a lot smoother from there. All right, check it out. Now, I'm harnessed in, and I start my slow, controlled descent by releasing this tag in. Leaning back the entire time. And that's how you rappel. After you safely descend to your destination, make sure to just pull one tag in so that you can retrieve your rope. And that way you don't leave your rope hanging here, and that you can use it again in the future. Rappelling down into this ravine, I have found the drain to that spillover in that deep part of the lake. It runs through and meets that waterfall we just rappelled down. All right, just following the creek now. Really, usually the easiest way traversing these creeks is to more or less kind of rock skip, okay? On the sides, it's gonna be extremely brushy and extremely thick. However, if you just walk right into the creek, it's typically the easiest way to walk around. Trekking poles are nice for stability. A lot of this stuff is slick. I'm wearing the Gore-Tex Under Armour boots. Tons of traction, tons of control. I really trust these boots, so I passed on the trekking poles. According to the rangeman in that top right corner, you'll see 1 hour and then 5 minutes continuing. We're 1 hour and 5 minutes into our hike, making our way through Goldmine Branch, kind of traversing this beautiful creek here, rock skipping along the way. Lots of fun, lots of action, really cool day hike. This is why it's called bushwhacking. When you get to places in the creek that are a little bit deep and you have to get just off trail to try and navigate through this stuff, and you keep having to bounce farther and farther out from your creek. This creek does have a lot of splits and weird turns in it, and it can all look very similar. So if you're not really kind of in tone with where you're at, have a good sense of direction and bearings, or have some kind of device for navigation, I would not recommend this part for beginners. This is for those who are a little bit more experienced in walking in the woods. However, getting to the first 2 lakes, very easy. Anybody can really do that hike. The trail is huge, the trail is wide, it's really distinct. But getting on down, going Goldmine Branch, a little bit more challenging. It's not really any defined trails. We have doubled back, made it back to the lake. Walking up the trail now, back on that big, solid, nice, easy trail. Done bushwhacking. If you're trying to hit all 3 lakes on one route, give it at least allot yourself all day. Get an early start. That Goldmine Branch, it's a pretty tough hike, and it's windy and thick, and it's a lot of walking. Your pace is going to be really slow. And once you get to that 3rd lake, it's pretty thick around there. You're coming in on a tough side of the lake. But altogether, these first 2 lakes, super easy to get to. Really cool, really pretty. A little secret here, right off Goldmine Road in 278. So if you live in Paulding or Dallas, there's a really cool place, little oasis to get away to, get out in the woods. All right, that is Goldmine Road, the 2 lakes here, and getting to Goldmine Branch. I will post a video navigating the rest of Goldmine Branch all the way to that 3rd lake, that biggest lake. However, if you're wanting to get to that 3rd lake, there's another entrance. We'll be covering that as well. Just don't have enough time in the day right now to go ahead and walk that entire creek with you. It's a long hike, so set aside the entire day if that is your intentions. Altogether though, we're about 2.5 hours in. coming up close back to this brick house now, and almost to the power lines, and we will be back to the truck. You can make that loop pretty fast. It's a good little hike, and it's right here close to home.